Few truths have been kept in deeper shadows than the secret history of those called the Cathars, mystics who dared to challenge the very foundation of what we believe divine. What if the world's greatest spiritual authority has concealed a revolutionary truth? That the material realm is a prison crafted by a false god, a demiurge, not the true divine. And what if the purest light has been suppressed, hidden beneath layers of dogma and destruction, sacrificed in a brutal war of faith and power? Behind the silence of history lies a story of awakening, of souls trapped in illusion, fighting to remember their divine origin amid a sea of deception. The question remains, could the ancient teachings of these mystics hold the key to awakening the divine spark within us all, even now, amid darkness? The answer is hidden in the echoes of their martyrdom, in the whispers of a spiritual rebellion that refuses to be extinguished. What if, in uncovering their secrets, we awaken to a truth that changes everything? In the stillness of the cosmos, amid the silent echoes of creation, there exists a whisper, a divine secret carried on the wind that stirs the soul to awakening. It is a whisper older than time itself, echoing through the shadows of history, beckoning those whose hearts are open to see beyond the veil of illusion. In the depths of human longing lies a sacred truth, hidden beneath layers of dogma and bloodshed waiting to be uncovered. Long ago, in a land bathed in the crimson glow of twilight, a movement arose. Mystics and seekers who dared to see through the false light cast by the architects of earthly power. These were souls who understood that the material world was not the end, that behind the illusions of flesh and matter lay a divine spark, a fragment of eternity trapped in a prison of illusion. Their message was a call to remember, to awaken from the sleep of forgetfulness, and to reclaim the divine inheritance that belongs to all beings. Yet their truth was deemed heresy, a threat to the dominion of those who ruled through fear and control. The forces of darkness, those hidden archons and false lights, sought to silence them, to drown their voices in blood and fire, to erase the sacred knowledge that could set souls free. And so the earth trembled with the sound of armies marching, of the righteous crusade that sought to extinguish this divine spark from the face of the earth. But even in the darkest depths of persecution, a faint glimmer endured, a divine spark that refused to be extinguished. It flickered in secret, whispered in shadows, and was carried in the hearts of those who still remembered the truth of their origin. As the centuries passed, the echoes of their silent rebellion persisted, hidden beneath the ruins of churches and the ashes of burned manuscripts. In this sacred moment, as the veil begins to lift, it becomes clear that the story of these mystics is not merely a chapter of the past, but a living testament to the eternal struggle between light and darkness. It is a story that beckons every seeker to listen more deeply, to look beyond the surface, and to open their eyes to the divine mystery unfolding before them. The divine whisper urges patience, for the truth is not revealed all at once. It waits in the shadows, in the silence, in the quiet spaces between words. The time has come to prepare the heart, to stand firm and silent, and to receive what is about to be unveiled. For what lies ahead is not just history, but a divine revelation that will stir the soul and awaken the divine flame within. The journey into the sacred is about to begin, and the divine mystery is calling us to witness its unfolding. Throughout history, there have been whispers of a deeper truth that many have chosen to ignore or suppress. These whispers speak of a divine reality beyond the illusions of the material world, a realm of pure light and infinite love that exists beyond the reach of ordinary perception. For those willing to listen, there is a sacred call to awaken from the sleep of forgetfulness and to remember one's true divine nature. This divine whisper gently reminds us that the world we see is but a shadow, a reflection of a higher reality that remains hidden from most. It urges us to look beyond the surface and to seek within, where the true divine spark resides. When we quiet the noise of external distractions and turn inward, the whisper becomes clearer, revealing a path of inner awakening and spiritual discovery. In this silent space, the soul begins to stir, recognizing its connection to the divine source. This recognition is not something to be learned through external teachings alone, but is an innate remembrance, a rediscovery of the light that has always been part of us. The divine whisper encourages us to trust in this inner knowing, to listen with patience, and to allow ourselves to be guided by the gentle voice of our higher self. It invites us to cultivate stillness in our minds and hearts, to embrace silence as a sacred space where divine truths can emerge. In this sacred silence, the layers of illusion peel away, revealing the divine essence within us and around us. The divine whisper also carries a message of hope and resilience. No matter how dark the external world may seem, the light within remains untouched and eternal. It reminds us that every soul carries a divine fragment, a spark of the divine that can never be extinguished. As we begin to listen more attentively, we realize that our journey is not one of external conquest, but of inner transformation. The whisper calls us to remember that we are divine beings having a human experience, not the other way around. It is a gentle but persistent invitation to awaken to the truth of our divine origin and to live each moment in harmony with that truth. This sacred call is universal and timeless. It does not discriminate or judge, but beckons all souls to remember their divine inheritance. When we respond with openness and sincerity, the divine whisper guides us toward greater awareness, love, and peace. It reminds us that the ultimate truth is always present, waiting patiently to be uncovered within the stillness of our hearts. In listening to this divine whisper, we begin to reconnect with the eternal light that resides within each of us, igniting a gentle but powerful awakening that can transform our entire perception of life. The divine whisper invites us to look beyond the surface of our everyday experience and to recognize the deeper currents that flow beneath. It suggests that the truth of our existence is not something distant or impossible to reach, but is accessible through gentle awareness and inner stillness. When we quiet the noise of external distractions and turn our attention inward, the divine whisper becomes more audible. It reminds us that within each of us lies an unbreakable connection to the infinite, a spark of divine light that has always been present. This light, often obscured by layers of doubt, fear, or confusion, is the core of who we truly are. Listening to the divine whisper requires patience and a willingness to surrender the ego's need for control. It is a call to trust in the process of inner discovery, knowing that the answers we seek are already within us, waiting to be uncovered. As we cultivate silence and openness, the divine whisper guides us gently towards self-awareness and understanding. It encourages us to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment, creating space for the truth to reveal itself naturally. In this space of stillness, illusions of separation and limitation dissolve, revealing the unity and harmony that underlie all of existence. The divine whisper reminds us that every moment provides an opportunity for awakening, and that clarity often emerges when we least expect it. It is a subtle but persistent voice, urging us to remember our divine origin and to see ourselves as divine beings, temporarily veiled by the illusion of duality. This inner voice also offers reassurance during difficult times. When faced with uncertainty or fear, the divine whisper encourages us to trust in the divine plan and to hold on to hope. It teaches that the darkness we encounter is not the end, but a necessary part of the journey toward greater awareness. The divine whisper gently reminds us that we are never truly alone, for the divine presence is always with us, guiding and supporting our growth. By cultivating the habit of listening, we develop a deeper sense of trust in ourselves and in the divine intelligence that sustains all life. With consistent practice, this divine whisper becomes a steady companion, leading us toward greater peace, wisdom, and love. It is an invitation to remember that within us lies an eternal light, waiting patiently to illuminate the path to our highest self. Within each of us resides a quiet voice, a gentle whisper that often goes unnoticed amidst the noise of daily life. This voice, sometimes called the divine whisper, carries a sacred message of truth that transcends words and logic. It is a reminder that beneath the surface of our thoughts and feelings lies an eternal connection to the divine source. When we learn to listen with patience and openness, this whisper becomes clearer, guiding us toward greater understanding and inner peace. It encourages us to trust ourselves and to recognize that all the answers we seek are already present within. The divine whisper does not demand loud declarations or grand gestures. Instead, it offers subtle nudges, soft insights that arise when we create space for silence and stillness. Cultivating this inner listening requires a gentle discipline of awareness. As we slow down and pay attention to the present moment, the noise of worries, distractions, and external pressures begins to fade. In that space of quietude, the divine whisper can emerge, speaking softly but powerfully. It often reveals truths that challenge our assumptions or comfort us in moments of uncertainty. These insights may come as a gentle nudge, a fleeting thought, or a feeling of deep knowing that resonates within. Over time, tuning into this whisper deepens our connection to ourselves and the divine, helping us navigate life's challenges with more clarity and compassion. Listening to the divine whisper also invites us to embrace humility and patience. It teaches us that spiritual growth is a gradual process, one that unfolds naturally when we relinquish the need to control or force outcomes. Instead of seeking immediate answers, we learn to trust that the divine truth is always present, waiting to be discovered in the right moment. This approach fosters a sense of surrender, allowing us to flow with life rather than resist it. As we become more attuned to the whisper, we notice how it guides us to make choices rooted in love, kindness, and authenticity. The more we listen, the more we realize that this voice is not separate from us, but an integral part of our higher self, forever connected to the divine. Ultimately, the divine whisper is an invitation to awaken to our true nature, an invitation to remember that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. It reminds us that within every moment lies an opportunity for divine connection and growth. By cultivating attentive awareness and trusting this sacred voice, we step into a deeper harmony with ourselves and the universe. This ongoing relationship with the divine whisper becomes a source of strength, inspiration, and clarity, guiding us gently along the path of self-discovery and spiritual awakening. In the stillness of the heart, there is a gentle voice that calls us back to our true essence, a voice that reminds us of the divine presence within us all. This is the divine whisper, a sacred invitation to reconnect with our inner light and to recognize the divine spark that has always been part of who we are. It speaks softly, yet its message carries profound truth. We are not separate from the divine, but inherently connected to it through an eternal bond. When we slow down and listen with patience, this whisper reveals insights that guide us toward greater understanding, peace, and love. It encourages us to trust our intuition and to follow the gentle nudges that lead us toward our highest good. Learning to hear the divine whisper requires cultivating awareness and creating space for silence. As we quiet the mind and let go of distractions, the noise of the outside world diminishes, and the subtle voice within becomes more perceptible. This process is not about seeking dramatic revelations, but about openness and receptivity. When we approach life with curiosity and humility, the divine whisper often speaks through small signs, an intuition, a fleeting thought, or a sense of knowing that resonates deeply within. These moments remind us that we are always supported, even in times of uncertainty or challenge. The more we practice listening, the clearer this divine voice becomes, guiding us toward choices rooted in love and compassion. The divine whisper also teaches us patience and surrender. It reveals that spiritual growth is a gradual process that unfolds naturally when we stop forcing answers and allow divine timing to take its course. Trusting in this inner guidance helps us develop confidence in ourselves and the divine plan for our lives. As we deepen our connection, we learn to discern between the voice of the ego and that of the higher self. The divine whisper always encourages kindness, understanding, and forgiveness, reminding us that our true power lies in aligning with love rather than fear. It gently urges us to let go of doubts and to embrace the truth that we are divine beings having a human experience, here to grow, learn, and serve. In this ongoing journey of listening and awakening, the divine whisper becomes a constant companion. It offers solace in moments of hardship, clarity during confusion, and inspiration when we feel lost. The more we attune ourselves to this sacred voice, the more we realize that we are never truly alone. Within us resides a divine light that is unbreakable and eternal. When we listen attentively and trust in its guidance, we align more deeply with our divine purpose. This connection awakens our inner strength and compassion, empowering us to live authentically and to share love freely. Through the divine whisper, we are reminded that our true nature is divine, and that by embracing this truth, we can navigate life's journey with confidence, grace, and peace. In the quiet moments of daily life, there exists a subtle yet powerful invitation to reconnect with our true essence. This invitation is often heard as a gentle whisper that guides us toward inner peace and understanding. It is a call to slow down, to listen beyond the noise of the external world, and to open ourselves to the deeper truths that reside within. When we cultivate stillness and patience, this divine whisper becomes more distinct, revealing insights that can lead us to greater clarity and purpose. It encourages us to trust our intuition and to recognize that the answers we seek are already present inside us, waiting for us to acknowledge them. Learning to hear this divine whisper requires a conscious effort to create space for silence. By turning off the distractions of technology and daily busyness, we allow ourselves to become receptive to the subtle signals that come from within. These signals may appear as a gentle nudge, a fleeting thought, or a deep feeling of knowing. All of these are signs that the divine whisper is speaking to us. It is important to approach this process with openness and humility, understanding that true guidance does not come from force or effort, but from a quiet willingness to listen. As we become more attuned, we may notice that the divine whisper often speaks in simple truths, moments of inspiration, or feelings of peace that gently settle into our consciousness. With consistent practice, the divine whisper becomes a trusted companion on our journey. It offers reassurance during times of uncertainty and provides clarity when decisions feel overwhelming. This voice reminds us that we are not separate from the divine source, but inherently connected to it through an unbreakable bond. When we listen, we begin to see the world through a lens of love and understanding, recognizing opportunities for growth and compassion that were previously hidden. The divine whisper also encourages us to act with kindness and patience, knowing that each step we take is part of a larger divine plan unfolding in perfect timing. Ultimately, this sacred communication invites us to live more consciously and authentically. It reminds us that within every moment lies the potential for awakening and transformation. By tuning into the divine whisper regularly, we strengthen our connection to ourselves and the divine, cultivating a sense of inner harmony and peace. This ongoing relationship nurtures our soul, helping us navigate life's challenges with grace and confidence. It teaches us that the highest wisdom resides within, and that by listening with an open heart, we can access a wellspring of divine love and guidance that is always available. As we come to the end of this sacred reflection, let us pause and consider the profound truth that has been quietly revealed, that within each of us lies a divine spark, a light that cannot be extinguished by darkness or despair. The story of the Cathars reminds us that even in the face of relentless persecution and suppression, the divine truth endured, hidden in shadows, waiting to be rediscovered. It is a testament to the resilience of the spirit, a reminder that no force in this world can truly silence the inner voice of the divine whisper that calls us to remember our higher nature. This truth is not merely history, it is a living reality that resides within every heart willing to listen and awaken to its divine purpose. The biblical lesson echoes through the ages. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. No matter how oppressive the external world may seem, the divine presence within us remains unbreakable, a beacon that guides us through the storm. It warns us to stay vigilant against the illusions of ego, material attachment, and false authority, reminding us that the true power lies in humility, love, and inner surrender. Yet it also offers hope that the divine flame, once ignited, can never be fully snuffed out. It calls us to be courageous, to hold on to that light even when the world seems engulfed in darkness, knowing that every act of kindness, every moment of stillness, contributes to the awakening of not only ourselves, but also those around us. This sacred message urges us to live with purpose and awareness, to carry the divine whisper into our daily actions, and to become beacons of hope and truth in a world that desperately needs it. It reminds us that we are part of a divine plan larger than any individual struggle, a plan rooted in love, redemption, and eternal light. Our role is to listen, to remember, and to shine that light outward, illuminating the path for others to follow. We are called to stand firm in faith, knowing that even in the darkest times, the divine spark within us remains a powerful force for good, capable of transforming lives and awakening collective consciousness. Support this sacred mission by subscribing. Your support helps keep these timeless messages alive and spreading. Like this video, to honor the truth shared and to help others find their way back to the divine light. Activate the notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to deepen your faith and grow spiritually. Share this message with friends, family, and anyone seeking hope, because these truths are too precious to keep hidden. Let us unite in purpose, spreading the divine whisper far and wide, knowing that each act of love and each moment of faith contributes to a greater awakening. May we carry this light into the world with courage, humility, and unwavering hope, shining as living reminders that in the divine all things are possible, and the eternal flame within us will never be extinguished.